Alright, and let's explore another feature that's currently under development, and that's not on the 3D Designer. It's actually here on the Optiboostics panel with the particles and the foliage. So there are some developments under the foliage that start using also a feature that's the force field. Alright, so we've seen the force field. Let's go back perhaps to that image we had a little bit earlier. Yeah, with this image here. Let me store that just in case I need that again. Store this image and click it to put it in. And so now if I use that as a force field, I click here to make it a force field, and I can see the force field affecting the regular particles. Well, now in this new version that's currently under development, even when you use the foliage, you'll be able to use the force field. So again, if you don't have a force field, if you turn the power off, right, you see it this way. That's the default foliage. But if you enable the force field, or now that the force field has been enabled and you give it the force, it will have very drastic effects on how these particles evolve. And the force drag also. Alright, so for instance, examples of how you could use that is, let's see, for instance, the classic tree here. Right. And let's go with white background. It's a little bit easier to see that way. Alright, so with no power and no force drag, meaning no force field presence really, that's the regular tree. And now if you use the force drag, it is stuck there. Alright, so you get some nice variations you can put with that. And the power too. Look at that. Makes very different trees. Alright. Let's see one more perhaps down here towards the bottom, the willow tree. Let's put this to 0. So here's my default willow tree. Now I give it a little bit of power with the force field and it goes the other way. Right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can now make these trees a little bit more, give it some variety. Let's see one more example, maybe the weeds. Oh, the weed painter, I like that one. Check this out. Paint one after the other, you just keep dragging. Right? Right? Well, now if you give it a little bit on the force, give some power there with the force field. Erase this. Let's give it a little bit more. Ah, look at that. Now it's starting to be. See how these particles towards the end here get all deflected? That's the influence of the force field. And now let's give it a little bit of force drag as well. Wow, so different. So great additional capabilities here to explore so many more variations. Let's finish with the tropical ones here. Let's do that. One of the tropicals, that is. Let's see, tropical 3. Yeah, that's a cool one. Look at that. That's one I always envision on the edge of a cliff or something like that. Right. Well, now you can also add a little bit of force drag to that. So there's fewer of those. Right? Look at that. If I go vertically without the force field, you get something like this bush here. Alright, and now if you don't want these branches to go up too much, give it a force drag. See how they're much closer to the main stem, to the main trunk? And then you can also give them a little bit more power with the force field enabled, and they start being deflected. Look at that, some wind-blown branches. Some of those Torrey pines we have near La Jolla in San Diego. Alright. That's crazy, look at that. Alright, so that's one thing. That's not out yet. This is not in 8.1. This will be probably 8.2, but it's very early. A bit too early to tell. It's in alpha. It's not even in beta. But it's one of the features that we are currently exploring and developing that will further enhance your experience with Project Dog Waffle PD Howler, and probably also PD Artist will have an update on that. But still probably many weeks away, quite a bit more of development coming. Alright, well, thanks for watching.